Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. We'll just give it a couple moments for people to join. All right, so let's get started. First off, I want to thank you guys for joining us for our webinar today. It's the last one before the holidays, so glad you guys could make it. I'm Jennifer, I'm your moderator for today's presentation. As always, we will have time for questions at the end of the presentation, so you want to make sure that you ask your questions into the question box. Make sure you've got some detail in there so we know what part of the presentation you're asking about. Anything we can't address during the presentation, or if it's a little off topic, we'll come back to you afterwards. We'll get your email address and make sure you get the answers you need. Today's topic is physical count, common issues and troubleshooting. Our presenter today is Abby. She's a software specialist, but that's been with Windward for quite some time now. So without further ado, let's get started.
All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well today. And welcome to my presentation. This afternoon, we will talk about physical count common issues and troubleshooting. So, physical inventory count is one of the procedures that you need to do during year end. So, this webinar has two objectives. So first, we will discuss the common causes of yellow lines on a physical inventory count and how to fix them. And we will discuss the factors that might trigger incorrect inventory quantities. Before we proceed to the common causes of yellow lines, let me tell you first what is a yellow line. Yellow line is the system's way of indicating that the user is not yet allowed to process the count sheet or the count batch. The common causes of these yellow lines must be fixed first in order to proceed. So one common cause of a yellow line is items that have quantities attached on work orders or layaways. I'm going to pull up my demo here to show you an example. So I'm going to be pulling the physical inventory count. And for this example, I'm going to use the uninitialized stock count. Okay, and for our options, we will just leave these boxes unchecked. Then I'm gonna go hit build and I'll add the item. That would be item 1. Right, so in the quantity column, we have 6 quantities. So let's say the new count of this item will be 0. Just uncheck. Okay, and then save this and process. So we have this message that the batch could not be processed because of issues with the stock count lines highlighted in yellow. So if we hover over this item, we will know what's the problem. So it says there is not enough stock available to make the adjustment. You can free up stock by reducing the quantity shipped on work orders or layaways. So if we take a look at this item, okay, here we have 6 in stocks, but only 5 are available because that one stock is attached to a work order served for that work order. So this item is highlighted in yellow because we included that one stock on work order and the new count is 0. So there is no enough stock to allocate it to the work order. So what are the common fixes when this is the case? We have here first, exclude stocks on work orders or layaways. So let's just go back to my demo, and we have to just delete this batch, and then I'm gonna add another initialized stock count, and then we will check this box, exclude stock on layaways and exclude stock on work orders. Okay, gonna go hit build, and then I'm gonna add same item. Okay, right now it is showing 5 quantities. Earlier it was 6. So this excludes that one stock on work order. So let's then set the new count to 0, save this and process. And we were able to process the count batch. So let's just take a look at this item. Okay, now the available is 0 and it still has one stock, and that is for the work order. So the new count did not affect that one quantity on work order. So the next common fix is to remove the yellow lines from the count batch window. This is for the situation where there are other items included in the count batch or the count sheet and they are not highlighted in yellow. So let me pull up my demo again. And for this example, I'm going to use the periodic count. Okay. And then just uncheck the boxes. So let me just select my category here. Okay, so say for instance, their new count would be 0. So zero them all and save and process. So we have 2 items that are highlighted in yellow. So if there are a lot of items in your count batch and you don't want to redo it to exclude stock on work orders or layaways, especially if the count batch was created a few days ago or not on the same day that you would have processed it. So you can actually delete the yellow lines and work on them in a separate count batch after you fix them so that you can be able to proceed and process the others. So just right click, highlight the line, and then right click and then delete. Okay, so then by doing that, you can then be able to process this batch. Okay, there you go. And another common fix is set new count as equal or greater than the quantity on work order or layaway. This is when you don't want to delete the yellow lines because you want to process them in the same count batch. So here, example, let me close this and then put it again. So I'm using periodic stock count and then still using the same subcategory. So let me just make them highlighted in yellow. So okay, here these 2 items have one quantity, so they are attached to a work order or they are attached to work orders. So as per the third common fix, we can set the new count as equal or greater than the quantity on work or on layaways. it says one quantity both items, so we can actually set it to 1 or greater 1. Okay, so by doing that, we can then be able to process the discount batch. There you go. So next is to flip the work order to a complete sale. And this requires as well to delete the item and add it back. Well, let me show you. For this example, I'm gonna use the uninitialized stock count because I'm gonna just add one item here. Okay, so if we process, sorry, 0, and then save and process. So for you to be able to find that work order, just open this item, just double click on the line. From here, go to the sales history, and then under settings, make sure that you set the start date to no date, and then just only select work orders, then set this or select sales history report tab. And here's the work order. All right, so we can then just flip this to an AR invoice. Exact. And just check this. It should be a charge type customer. Sorry, let me just change that. Okay, and then there you go. Because it requires it's a charge type customer if it doesn't have a payment yet. So here we can now exit it out, and then so we need to remove this item and add it back because when we make changes on the inventory item, it will not automatically update from here. So we really need to delete the line and then add it back. Okay, so this has now 0 quantity because that one stock um, has now been taken out from the inventory. So then we can then be able to process the count batch. Sorry. All right. So that is it for the first common cost. So the next common cost would be serialized items with blank serial numbers in stock. Okay, let's open my demo again. And we will so I'm still gonna use the uninitialized stock count. So I'm gonna build and add the item. All right. So as we count the serialized item, we need to select this tab to verify the serial number. So as you can see, I have a blank serial number here. I have one stock with a blank serial number here. So even if I exclude that serial number, let me just show you. Let's say that that black serial number is invalid, so I'm gonna exclude that one from this count batch. Okay, and then process it. So the system would not allow us to do so because we have that serial number or blank serial number. Even though I have excluded this, so the system will still not allow us. So we need to. So what are the fixes if this is the case? So we have here first, you can manually assign a serial number for the stock or delete the stock line and re-enter the item in the count sheet. So again, we have to after we fix this, we have to delete this line and then add it back. So before we do that, let me show you first the cost stock levels of this item. So here's the black serial number, and we can actually just manually assign a serial number here. Let's say 4. Wait a sec. Let me just use a different one. So that one, or we can just actually delete it if it's really an invalid one. So just right click, you have to highlight the serial number and then, or the blank serial number, and then right click and delete it. Right. And then you then have to go back to the physical inventory count window, and then you have to delete this because it will not update it from here automatically. So just delete it and then add it back. All right, now we have these 3 serial numbers that are valid. So we can now proceed and then process. Okay. So next would be factors that might trigger incorrect inventory quantities. So let's say after the physical inventory count, you check some of your inventory items and you notice that some are having incorrect quantities. So what are the factors that might trigger incorrect inventory quantities? First, we have failure to perform inventory integrity check with fixed options before doing the physical inventory count. So aside from creating a backup copy of your live data before doing the physical inventory count, you also need to run the inventory integrity check before the physical inventory count. It is highly recommended to be run beforehand for you to see if you have inventory issues and then fix them. So that can be found, let me just close this, under menu, general ledger, integrity checks, and inventory integrity. Okay, and then you have to uncheck this box here, skip transactions prior to minimum book month, and you have to check this box, fix inventory stock quantities, and validate stock preserved on work order. So this routine should be run twice because the first run will list you the inventory integrity issues and the second run will be the fix. So let's say, for example, I'm going to run this. Right now, I don't have any issues um, for my inventory, but if I have inventory integrity issues, it will be populated under inventory results. So once the first run is done, you just then need to hit run checks again. So click that and then click yes to this pop-up message, and then that will be the fix. All right. So next factor is this: include oversold quantity to clear oversold. This is still an ongoing issue, and our programmers are still working on this. So this is just for your awareness. Let me show you what the issue is. Okay, let me close this, and I'm gonna go physical inventory count, and I'm gonna use an initialized stock count. And for our options, I'm gonna include oversold. So here, let me. So that item is item 4, and I have negative quantity. So let's say the new count would be 1, and then let me save this, and then I'm gonna check this box, clear oversold when processed. Let's process this, and then let's take a look at this item. So supposedly it would clear, or it should clear the oversold, and the new count or the new stock would be 1. But the oversold was not cleared, and the quantity that is an oversold is added up to the in stock quantity, and it became 2. So that is the issue, an ongoing issue. So if you do the physical inventory count and want to clear your oversold, do not, for now, do not check that box, include oversold. So here, let me create another uninitialized stock count, and then I'm gonna uncheck this box, and I'm gonna add the same item. Oops. Okay. So it's showing here 1 oversold, and we have these 2 quantities. So let's say new count is 0. Okay. And then make sure to check this box, clear oversold when processed. So let's just then save this and process. So if we take a look at this item, so the oversold was cleared, and or has been cleared, and we have now 1 in stock, which is correct, the correct quantity. So for now, just don't check that box, include oversold, to refrain from having that issue. And I guess that would be the end of my presentation. I know that there are still other factors that might trigger incorrect inventory quantities, but I couldn't include those in this webinar because, or due to time constraint. So whenever you have an issue with your inventory quantities that is not covered in this webinar, I would suggest to create a support ticket or just directly call support because we might need to investigate that further. All right, and before we proceed to our question and answer portion, let me share you this first. Our webinar archives. You can sign up for future webinars or view previously recorded events. Just go to windwardsoftware.com/webinars. And for our available resources, um, in line with the help center, just go to windwardsoftware.com/help. And for our customer care portal, wherein you can submit and track support tickets or search for our knowledge base, you can go to support.windwardsoftware.com. And for our Windward Learning Academy, just go to academy.windwardoncloud.com. And if you experience entire system down, unable to make payment, cannot log into System 5, or you're recovering from a power outage, you can directly um, create an emergency support ticket. Just go to windwardsoftware.com/emergency. And if you want to get guidance from one of our professional services specialists, you may contact your account manager for a quote or just go to windwardsoftware.com/professional services. All right. Now, if you have any questions and clarifications regarding my presentation, you can just drop it down on the question box.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abby. We have some questions already. The first from April. She asked, why did it say you had one on back order after clearing the oversold?
Oh, sorry, that was okay. I guess that was the item one. That is there's no let me just give me one sec. I'm not sure which one, but it was there already before I attach one stock on work order. It doesn't really the result after the count or the new count.
April added that it was item 4.
Oh, okay, item 4. Sorry. But yeah, the count it is not the result from the count that I did. So yeah, it is. I attached customer. Yeah, it was from that day because I attached it. Sorry. And then I did a back order that um it is the wait a sec. Yeah, the oversold example. So yeah, I this is already created before I before I oversell the item. I just like set this to a back order.
Okay. The next question is from Wendy. If the quantity is negative and you don't include oversolds, does it show up on a report?
So it will still show because here it will show because the reason why it is a negative because of the oversold. So if you don't check that box include oversold, it's still gonna show your oversold quantity. So let me wait a sec. Just create a new one here real quick. Okay, just delete that one stock there. So let me say item 4 and then oversell and just pay. So if you, okay, close it. And then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna close this. Okay, I'm not gonna check that. So here I will show you 4. So it's not showing a -1 here, but it still show that it has one stock that is an oversold, or one quantity that is an oversold. Does that answer your question?
Okay, excellent. Now we've run out of time, but there's still a couple questions left. So what I'll do, Abby, is I'll give you the information, then we can reach out to the remaining questions and make sure that everyone gets the answers they're looking for. If there's something
Sure.
else you think of afterwards, please feel free to email support@windwardsoftware.com, and one of our technicians can help you with any question you have about today's presentation. So thank you guys for joining us today, and we will see you December 29th. And we will be discussing the inventory reconciliation. So that's a good one to end the year off. Again, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great holiday.
Thank you guys and have a great day.